And CBS This Morning co-host Norah O'Donnell is here with me now on set. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk about that word confused. It seems to really fit into the Clinton campaign's narrative that Donald Trump is unfit to be president. Was Kaine basically saying that in a mild way?
Well, you heard Hillary Clinton, too, yesterday saying that there must be something missing with Donald Trump. So while they're not speaking directly about his mental capacity, they're sort of dancing around the edges of that. And it is interesting that Donald Trump has confused these episodes. There is not a picture or video of a plane with money pouring out of it. This just doesn't exist. And Donald Trump has admitted that now in a tweet, that he was referring to the plane in Geneva that shows in Geneva, which is in Switzerland, with the passengers getting off that plane.
We also saw in that exchange, which I think is really interesting, you asked him a couple times, if you were vice president, would you allow a plane full of money to land in Iran the same day the hostages were released? You also asked him to tell you how his administration with Clinton would be different. Did he miss an opportunity there? Because he would never answer that question.
Look, I think he didn't want to break with Obama on this issue of the Iran deal and that payment. It is a complicated one. It dates back to 1979. We had sold $1.7 billion worth of military equipment to the Iranians. That was broken off. So we have in some ways held that money in escrow. That's my word, escrow. So he's trying to make the argument this was just part of that payment that we negotiated down. It still doesn't answer the question why it had to be delivered on the exact same day. It raises the question of a quid pro quo. And their opponents, including Mike Pence, who is running as the Republican vice presidential nominee, has said that this is ransom, and he said it places a price on the head of every American living abroad. In fact, members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard have said that it was a ransom payment. So perception is important in this. He was trying to point out what he says is the reality of the deal, that it's been something that has been public for several months, that it was long part of this thing, but there's still this question. But Donald Trump has distracted really from, I think, the question about the substance of this by blurring the lines about whether there was some video that showed all the money coming out of it.
Some people think he's too nice to be your typical political attack dog, but do you think he's growing into that role?
I know, isn't that funny when now in politics that it's bad to be nice, right, on either side. But it is true that the vice president generally plays the role of the attack dog. He's described himself as boring. I think if you talk to anybody who knows him, he's far from boring. He's also someone who has never lost a political race, and he's been in politics for decades. So he's very savvy, and it's clear he knows how to deliver an attack, perhaps without, deliver it with the scalpel, as they sort of say in politics. So he's going to be, I think, ramping up these attacks on Donald Trump.
You also asked him about his relationships in Congress. I want to play a little bit of that exchange and then get you to talk about it. Let's listen to this.
Do you get along with Mitch McConnell?
I do, but let me tell you what's more important. The number of Republicans who tell me, you know, Hillary was actually a really good senator. They tell me that all the time.
So you think Hillary Clinton has better relationships with Republicans than Barack Obama?
She was in the Senate for 8 years and then 4 years as Secretary of State. So she has got 12 years of working together with the Senate. When the president was elected, and I'm a big supporter of President Obama and a friend, he had been in the Senate 4 years, 2 years he was running. So just in terms of the time into the relationships, yes, on her first day, she will have a deeper well of relationships in Congress than President Obama had on his first day.
So she's got deep ties to Washington, but she wants to be painted as a change maker. Mm-hmm. How do they do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the hurdles that they face is that they are viewed as a third Obama term. And so that people that want to break from the Obama administration, that don't like the Obama policies, have trepidation about voting for another Democratic administration. At the same time, there has been a very fractured relationship between Obama and Republicans, and it has resulted in a lot of gridlock and a lot of tension, a lot of partisan tension. He seemed to make the case, Kaine, that it would be better under Hillary Clinton. Let's see if that's true. He's tried to make the case that Hillary Clinton has better relationships with those on Capitol Hill. They're going to need those relationships if Republicans maintain control of the House and Senate.
All right, Norah O'Donnell, great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.